sometimes I've seen some of the really big, what we call VIPs, like the really big fish from Macau, get stuck in a spot where they clearly weren't angling, didn't mean anything wrong, but they didn't put the chips in right. And yet I've seen other people that did try to pull something a little funny. So it's a very hard thing to balance.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so this should be a huge pot. We have Paul flopped a set of 9s and Elton flopped a set of 7s. Now there are 3 hearts on board, which could make the pot a little bit smaller, but I still expect it'll get very big. And so then he's talking a lot before I'm guessing that he's going to raise, and yeah, he is with this set. And Elton's not going to be folding. And a set's a very good hand, but there are 3 hearts on the board. Expect that that'll end up happening a lot of time depending on what the turn is here. And that's partly because Paul and Elton both have a history. They both play big pots against each other. Sometimes they try to bluff each other.
I can't even speak English.
Yeah. It's funny, if you put these hands in... Oh, and Paul bet really big, so he's kind of forcing Elton to shove here. Paul bet 330,000.
It's getting real.
And,
So there is, yes.
now, so...
Okay, not so serious.
Oh, and Elton calls here. So there's almost $1 million in the pot already, and Paul only has 600,000 more.
Look at that.
So if the river is not a heart, they're going to be getting the money in there. Oh, I guess or an 8 or a 10. There's actually a very good chance this freezes both of them up. And I think this was actually quite a good play by Elton. Oh, wow. And this is a very surprising shove to me. So Paul shoves 600,000 into a pot of €1 million.
Now we're at 1.5. This is bigger than yours.
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't seem very pleased.
Well, yeah, he's definitely not pleased. I mean, I think on the turn, Elton almost definitely thought he was winning. And on this river, I think he's not happy.
Do you think Paul being so excited right now is a giveaway?
I think Paul is quite good at balancing. He's very useful. What about those circular ice ball things that they put in? I like those. You don't like them?
I like him in like an old-fashioned.
See, old-fashions, they have something in them that I don't like. I'm not sure what. Okay, and so, but maybe those McCallums are hitting him there a little bit, and he's trying to gamble. Now, I think he is in position on Raquel, so it's, not a problem to play this hand. It's okay, but he's still going to get himself in trouble some of the time here. That's different. As the 2,000, Raquel's got a bit of a tighter hand. It's a little harder for Paul to fight. And now Raquel bets a very small bet of 20,000 here, and Paul's thinking of going a little crazy, and it's not going to work out well for him if he does.
No chickens will be stolen.
That is for sure. It is almost impossible to see Paul winning this hand. I think it would need to come either a queen or a 10 and, jack or 10 and a 9 for him to have any chance.
And it might.
Oh, Tatiana, come on.
Hey, it's poker. Anything can happen.
Trying to bluff on TV, Paul. He is right. That is what Paul's trying to do.
I am noticing a lot more animation and talking while they're playing.
I think that's partly because everyone's friendly, and then I think it's also...
they're just staring at each other and just quiet all the time.
Yes, and I don't really like that. Okay, and Ree bets 300 out of 220 pot. And when Raquel bets this big, I do think almost always he's either bluffing or has Paul beat, but still, it's just so hard to fold to Raquel. He bluffs so much, and when he hits a big hand, sometimes he just deserves the money.
Pocket kings. There's tournaments where 9,000 euros is the buy-in.
Right.
This guy just open raise, and Wang, ST Wang, they are so deep.
I saw for Shanghai Wong, it said Wang is...
Is that just a call pre-flop? I believe so.
Spicy flop.
Wow. So actually this slow play is going to make ST think he's got the best hand usually, because don't you expect your opponent to 4-bet aces and kings a lot?
Right, and what a sick flop once you do call. Give him the top against set.
So how much is that right there? 18,000, a 33% pot bet roughly. So pocket kings, are you ever check raising here or you just check calling?
Oh, Kuhn's laying the trap.
Yeah, I like to check call. I feel like if you check raise, you're like going to blow your opponent off of a hand. A lot of people, when they 3-bet you, they just want to represent ace king, so they're just going bet, bet, bet. But yeah, they actually have rubber bands around these chips.
Right.
There's too many of them.
Don't want to be spilling the plaques.
So,
It's funny seeing this.
yeah, you're going to see a deuce and a 5 coming soon.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just going to warn you ahead of time.
I played the main event today, or last night. And
Jason Kuhn here, should he just call again or maybe check raise? What are your thoughts here?
I think I'm calling here. I think this.
More likely to get your opponent to just keep blasting at you?
It's so hard for him to be Kuhn to be bluffing when he check raises because, like in theory, ST has way more ace kings.
Yep.
So it's not like the turn was something, maybe like a 10 or something more with
First
your
hand
set.
of the day, who really bluffs all their stacks away? So River's an 8. I think this is going to go check personally. So nice check, and Jason Kuhn's going to show him pocket kings. ST's going to be like, what?
Right. That's
Maybe like 6-hand.
right. In the Macau public games, it's usually 8 or 9-handed with a VIP seat. But the short deck stuff hasn't played 9-handed in a long time.
I see. And is short deck more popular now, or is it kind of still both games running?
Well, it's not legal in Macau yet.
Sure.
So it's not going to be more popular yet, but it's better, and
So it will be more popular.
it's no doubt growing in.
At least in the Asia scene.
Right, in Triton, they're talking about
Sure.
and kind of get
Yeah.
their feet wet.
Funny, and that's the first time I ever seen short deck. I was watching, I was like, I feel, and I believe his name is Chong Wong.
And then ST got a little.
Just call there. Trapping. Now, have you ever played with Chong Wong at all? This guy here?
That's Shanghai Wong. Yeah, actually, I played with him a couple nights, or we played all night a few days ago.
So he's
He's action sometimes.
alright, well, ST is gonna call here.
I think Shanghai Wong isn't gonna go for it. Like ST, when you're on the river against ST, he usually has a good hand. Look like he's charging the flush.
He is gonna bet again.
Oh, he's trying to get an ace to fold.
I would like that more time from
But
myself
I don't
if
even-
I'm making the decision.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna fold an ace that size. So yeah, ST's just maybe forgot what he has.
No, don't do that. No, you did not do that. ST.
God, that hurts. I know one of my favorite ones is just if I'm like betting the river, but I don't have the nuts, and I'm scared of getting raised, and I'm like, I know it's tough, and then the person does a thing where you know they're not going to raise when they're kind of giving away they're going to call, and then all of a sudden you can relax, and if you want you can chat to them. But like that's just a simple one that just saves you a lot of decisions. Just when you know someone
Sure.
has gone down a certain path in their
Like
brain.
he can't like all of a sudden just pop out of a raise. That would be insane, right? 3 suited aces, 1 pocket 9s, and a inside straight draw for Shanghai Wong.
I think Shanghai Wong is going to work this one out somehow.
The blinds usually have nothing in this board.
And I guess Paul raised pre cutoff makes sense.
It's already in action. So it's about 18,000. About a third of the pot.
Interesting size. You know, this might.
What's going to get Phil Ivey to come along? I think Elton probably should fold, right? After a bet and a call.
You know, do something.
So
take
if
the
he
spot
knows
down.
Shanghai Wong is betting a lot, he knows Ivy's on call of any like middling pairs. If he check raises here, which he does,
Throw in there. I think Shanghai Wong has the I'm about to do something crazy look.
And
turns 2 pair. Well, this crazy move will
he probably thinks he has a king. He's probably not going to get too greedy with these bets because is that 120?
120. So I like the smaller bet because his opponent most likely has king, queen, king, jack if he's going to continue.
He puts it all in.
Well, they're playing 250 big blinds deep. He does make the call. So we're coming to a river. He's got 23%. River's a jack. Doesn't really change anything. I think he bet like 200,000. So he's basically trying to size against king, queen.
2 weeks session.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, he's just doing the old. Take
He
your money
makes the
back.
call and gets shown the bad news. All right, so
Well,
thank you,
nice
Gabe.
hand.
And
Adios.
let's get Tom Dwan in here.
With the situation of, okay, Shanghai Wong is losing. A lot of times he's a player who likes to gamble a lot. I don't think Elton would think he has an ace quite that often when he calls 34,000 there. You know, maybe he can call a river bet.
Yes,
But it seemed a little funny to me to raise with an ace.
right. Well, he's in another pot, this time with Jason Kuhn. He's got a gut shot. He's going to bet this one.
I imagine Jason's going to call here.
Yeah, Jason Kuhn's going to call again.
If he raises, I'm really going to be confused. I'm going to leave the commentating booth.
Shanghai Wong actually. Well, turn ace is not a good card to keep barreling. Usually your opponent has an ace or a king. Not looking to fold when you've been playing every single pot so far.
Yeah, that seems about right to me.
Just check. Kuhn's going to check. For his full house, he's got queen high.
I wouldn't be that surprised if Shanghai Wong check called here.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually check call wouldn't actually be that bad of a play because your opponent's going to have like pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s, and then they got field 8 must bluff, right?
Or even 5-3 suited or something, Jack 10 suited.
Yep. Just some kind of high card hand that got
Well, saying a gut shot.
Yep. To make the call.
Right. Well, and I think it's also pretty hard for someone to bluff this spot. The most they can do is make a small raise against you, because Jason can have an ace in his range a bit of the time. Not as much when he checks the turn, but still some.
Well, Jason Kuhn wins 67,000 euros there.
Very big poker against each other over the years, but actually the last few years I don't think they've played too
In a
much.
game together?
I'm sure they've played
yeah.
some, but I don't think it's been. The three of us used to play against each other all the time. Okay, so this could be quite a big pot. You had given a spoiler about some fireworks. I wouldn't be shocked if it was this.
Oh, no.
now you're ruining more.
No, because it hasn't been. We're 30 minutes delayed.
I don't expect Ivy to fold unless Patrick bets huge. Yeah, so Patrick bets only 40,000. Ivy's not going to fold here. I expect him usually to call and hope to hit on the turn, but sometimes he'll raise the flop here. And now if a 10 pulls off, there would have been a really big pot there. Some of the time, especially with Patrick's history, that he a lot of times can put a lot of pressure on people.
It's just like from the beginning until the end, it's always the same face. It's just so crazy.
And this is a little bit of a little unusual of a call, but not a big surprise. So the same thing I had said earlier, how Patrick has two aces and Phil can only have one, that still applies. And that's, I think, part of why Patrick's betting so big here. He doesn't expect Phil to often have a hand that's just one pair, like an ace-10, king-queen, something like this. He's hoping that Phil has something like two pair.
But this is all just a big satellite to the baccarat tables, like.
It's a satellite to a satellite.
Right. It's just step 2.
A lot of guys have been 3-betting these hands so far.
Boom.
So 100K roughly.
Kind of a reckless. Speaking of live tells, that's kind of a reckless way to throw it in. I would be more likely. I'd be leaning towards that he was spewing here.
Collection of my favorite gamblers.
Gonna make the call.
Okay,
so position.
Fake 4 bets.
Yeah, he grabbed 2 chips, then 7 chips, dropped them on, just calls. And Elton saying has flopped the nuts. Oh, check. Okay, so Elton slow playing, thinks he smashed it too hard.
3-betting ace-queen of diamonds and then checking behind. He's going to try to win the pot.
So Paul Fall does decide to bet 140,000, about 75% of the pot. A no-brainer call for Elton, in my opinion. Jacks, queens, so that your opponent can put like a 300K bet on the river and then you win those chips. So nice call.
Yeah, a little bit of that big bet neck.
There was a king.
So that card, it makes it harder for Paul to bluff him off jacks on that card.
Yeah, so Paul here trying to decide what his opponent has. He checks and gives it up.
Yeah, on this texture, I think it's hard for.
He's got a lot of showdown value.
Yeah.
So he's going for the big bet, 360K, looks like.
Paul not going to snap forward. He's got to think about it.
I always want to make sure. He's always laughing, though. I love him.
That's the thing. Like I've learned, you just got to kind of turn it off.
Spread the pot.
What are you trying to represent? 4 kings? First time I played with these guys was like three and a half years ago, and that was the first time I had to turn it off. I was just like, fuck it, man.
So one thing in this spot, maybe, maybe after thinking for a while, you decide.
Jason Koon opened to 11,000. This is not a straddle pot, just 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 ante. Kane Callis is going to squeeze with pocket tens right now to 55,000. It's kind of like the first pot he's 3-bet. Jason Koon with ace queen might feel, so he is going to actually 4-bet here to 120,000. His read is that Callis is just going to play very straightforward. But I think Kane's going to try and see a flop. 120,000 euros each in there.
That's the cool thing about JJ. His
Flop is 653 rainbow.
Better than Manila by like safety wise.
It's safer, I'm sure.
Jeju, we get all our.
I mean, I don't even know about this like Jeju or something, but Manila is definitely like on the bottom of any rating. So.
You see the shit that just happened there?
So 128,000 from Jason Koon. All right, so he's going to go for calling chips.
Nice, huh? Like the weather,
especially is
safety.
so nice.
If there's a problem, we don't go. And
Here comes a turn. Koon has 24% chance to win the spot. Looking for an ace or a queen. The turn's a 10, so top set for Callis. He's got a 100% chance to win here. He should just keep checking, trying to let Koon.
condo.
Okay.
Jeju. Jeju Shinhwa.
Oh, okay.
SHIN
Yeah.
HWA.
Is it as expensive?
Shinhwa.
So Kane calls again. I don't really think Koon expected Kane to fold the turn too much. So I hope Koon has a plan. 839,000 euros in there. I think people are being a little bit more quiet now that the spot's getting bigger. River's an ace. That is a bad card for Jason Koon. He might think he can value shove this hand. Kane should check. Feign weakness. Try to make it look like you have jacks or queens that is scared of the ace. So Jason Koon shoves all in, and Kane Callis, he played one pot, but he just won 920,000 euros, 131,000 euros.
25% of their net worth in cryptocurrency when it was $1,000 and within 6 months it's 20,000 a coin, and now they're forced to have 90%, some percent of their net worth in it unless they want to pay short-term capital gains tax. So they got to hold on to it for a year. So if that's the case for you, a lot more gambling crypto than.
But Tom Dwan's got the best hand. He's going to bet top pair, 10 kicker. Call? Or is he check raising? He's going to make the call with bottom pair. He's very suspicious of Tom. They've got a lot of history, but Jason Koon actually might check raise here. He can put a lot of pressure on these type of hands. Yeah, he's going to raise to 100,000. I mean, he's stuck about 800,000 euros, so maybe Elton's going to call here with just bottom pair. No, he re-raises to 324,000. This is a weird play. He's just got 55% chance to win. I think he's just going to call and see what happens on a turn. He doesn't think Elton will ever fold to a shove. He actually would. So here comes the turn. Elton trying to decide what Koon has. Turn is a queen. Elton has the nut flush draw of his pair of sevens. He's going to bet a lot. He's just going to shove them all in. Okay, he shoved in 390,000. He's got 540,000 behind. A half pot bet. Jason Koon's got so many outs. He makes the call. There's not very many chips remaining. Elton. 1.5 million. This pot could be bigger than the last pot we just saw.
Played with him enough that I don't think he's got a soft roll. Let's just put it that way.
Rivers a 4. Jason Kuhn makes the nut straight. Elton realizes Kuhn only has a third of the pot remaining.
Usually playing slow in cash game, right? But
It's super slow. It's not just max.
I mean,
So he checks, he gives up. Jason Kuhn's gonna shove.
Slowest player I played.
If Jason Kuhn can have 6-5 of hearts, then that means he could have 10-9 of hearts as well, right?
pressure, like kind of relaxed.
So
and, okay, how much is in it?
technically,
Oh,
Elton
yeah,
does
you know,
beat
if you wanna play with
a
it, yeah.
couple hands. Because if Jason Kuhn had a hand like King, Queen of Hearts, he'd probably just check it back because usually he's up against 2 hearts himself. So nice fold. Can't show the bluff.